I can read the addresses off to you here. These are just some properties that we're considering, so I can give you a little bit of background too, Rick, because I know this is your first, you probably involved with this. A couple years ago, the legislature authorized municipalities to take appropriate steps to ensure that properties in the community are licensed. We were talking earlier in the town council meeting about having all these various pieces to kind of acting together. This is another piece. So I spoke with Cheryl and Wayne, and I asked, okay, we started this process last year with several properties. We saw some really good improvements. Mr. Lonnie took some good steps. We're currently working on Mr. Smizer. That's almost resolved, but let's not stop while we're ahead. Let's identify some properties, take the appropriate steps to make sure that we're doing, holding those properties accountable.
There was 5 in the previous. How many of those have been settled?
So
all but one.
All but one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that'll be put on this one.
So no, we're still moving forward with this one. These are all brand new additions. Yep. Okay. So this is just getting the process started on those. And we've identified 5 more properties. The first is 219 Frost Way. Here's some photographs of the property, if you'd like to see it. Another is 352 South Lafayette Street. And just to give you an update too, the Vales property over here, that was another property that we're currently
One that's got that metal thing.
Yes. Okay. We're almost done with it, thankfully. 352 South Lafayette. This one is 166 Lazy River in Stardust. There's some photographs of the property. So I think that's, actually, I'm so sorry. So there are 4 properties. I thought there were 5. My apologies. Yeah.
219, 352, 166.
Yes. And then another here is 160 Lazy River.
160.
160. 160. So there's 4 properties.
Okay.
So we haven't issued any orders yet. How this process generally works is the town will issue a proposed order to the property owners of those properties, requiring or ask, really, issuing them, telling them that they need to either, we can request that they clean the property up, we can request that they tear the property down, we can request that they paint it, put windows in, do what's necessary to ensure that the property is being maintained in a good way. So we've got these 4 properties. I don't know if you can see them very well, but we're here tonight kind of trying to get an idea as to what you think needs to be done to these properties to get them in compliance. Once we have an idea, then we'll issue the orders to the property owners and we'll get the ball rolling there. That process can take, so they get 60 days. We allocate 60 days for them to do what they're being asked to do. If they choose not to, then we have a hearing on that. They get the opportunity to present information, call witnesses, due process rights. And then if that order that was previously issued by the town is affirmed, then the owner has to comply with it. Otherwise, the town will intervene, just like we are in the Vales property right now. We're gonna do that demolition ourselves, and assess that as a lien on the property.
Now, if they do take action, do they need permits and all that?
Yeah, so if they're doing any kind of like improvements, demolition, building, yes, they would come in and get permits. And I don't know these properties very well, so it might be beneficial to have Wayne kind of address what the needs are potentially with these properties. Do you feel like any of them are in positions where they can be improved, rehabilitated, or are they all, you believe, ready for demolition?
I haven't been inside any of them, so I don't know the inside. The only thing I can tell you is the outside.
Okay.
Yeah, because I haven't been inside.
Okay.
And there's no, they've been empty for many years.
So how this also is set up, so it's not really like a town council meeting. The authority of the hearing authority, this body, is vested in the town council president, Larry. So he's gonna be able to give direction as to what, kind of what needs to be done, what steps we need to take. It's good that you guys are here because you can help give him input and counsel and get your guys' opinion. But really the weight of the authority, the hearing authority, rests with Larry. So he will decide kind of the direction that we move with this. These properties, we don't have any idea as to the condition of the interior of the property. That's kind of common. You know, we don't really generally know what's happening on the inside, but if the exterior is any reflection of the interior, probably easy to say that they're not in very good shape.
So first step is basically a letter.
Yes, so I would request approval to go ahead and send out the proposed orders. And on these properties, I don't know if Wade wants to give you any more information on them, what he thinks might be appropriate, whether they need paint, whether they need a new roof, whether they need to be rehabilitated in some way, or whether they just need to be torn down. And that could be it. I'm not really probably the.
Is that letter delivered by Steve?
So we send them actually certified.
Oh, okay.
So we'll send them to the property owners. We have to make sure that they receive notice, and that way they, they have rights. We want to make sure.
Sure. These four are occupied, or?
I don't believe they are.
Oh, okay, good.
No.
One's been empty since 2010, one's been empty 2013, one's 2017, and one's 2015, no service.
Now, the one on 352 South Lafayette, are you gonna be able to negotiate a?
On bales?
No, no, sir.
Potentially. So give you an update on that. We had spoken previously about maybe trying to consider an option for, because that gentleman owns those properties, several properties, and they're all really in disrepair. Potentially, if we could structure it in a way where we could come to an agreement, so we don't have to continuously do this with his properties. That is an option. We didn't really decide that. I didn't think about it tonight. We probably should have discussed that. That hearing is coming up in March, so maybe we could put it on the meeting next week, or whenever we have our special meeting, to discuss if the council wants to proceed with that. I'll get the ball rolling. I need to contact opposing counsel. We need to start talking terms. I will tell you, I'm a little hesitant at this point because I feel like we put in so much effort at this point. I want to see it through to completion. However, I am mindful that we have these other properties. If we can kill two birds with one stone, save money, same time, probably.
But the thing we're trying to avoid is dragging it out for another 5 or 10 years.
True. So I don't know if opposing counsel would be open to maybe structuring where he took care of one property the first year, 2 the second year, 3 the next. Maybe, I don't know. I would venture to say probably not, but the information that's been provided to me is that there's some kind of tax reason why he doesn't want to do anything with the properties, sell them. I think he's concerned about the tax implications.
Would that fall under possibly red tagging those properties and pursuing it that way?
Yes, and that's another piece to this. You know, we keep talking about all these pieces. That's another piece. The marshal has the authority to cite them for ordinance violations for not maintaining the properties, nuisance properties. So that's just another piece of what we're doing. The goal is to hopefully curb the behavior so that we don't have properties in such disrepair.
I think we had mentioned or tossed it around 321 also.
Yep. So let's get that on the agenda for our next meeting. We'll get that, potentially talking to Mr. Smyther's counsel about structuring an agreement where, okay, we can delve into that a little bit more, and I can kind of test the waters with Mr. Capper, his attorney, and see what he thinks.
And would it be beneficial in the meantime of citing those for the unsafe building?
Yeah, I think any properties, and I need to speak to the marshal about this. I want to make sure we're on the same page. Any buildings that are being maintained like these four, we can begin citing them for ordinance violations.
We already have begun that. In fact, we had today, came in and paid a fine today. And actually cleaned up and did what we told them to do. We're also putting together a list, working with the utilities up here so we can find out more, because there's several places here that have been vacant for long periods of time. So we're putting those things together, and we'll be going out and doing the red tags and follow up with ordinance citations.
And I got a list of all the tax properties in the town, and a lot of them have been putting taxes that they're not eligible for anymore. And we're going and taking that off of the tax rolls, so they will be paying their fair share. That's not, you can't state that they got disability when they don't have disabilities, or
Multiple properties.
multiple properties or whatever.
Does the red tag go out before the letters, or letters before at the same time?
So it's almost like separate. It's kind of its own thing. So the ordinance violations are kind of in its own little lane. This is in its own lane. This is just an additional kind of mechanism for hopefully getting folks to comply.
Extra negotiating.
Yeah. It's such a, I know other attorneys, they're dealing with the same exact issues that we are. It's everywhere. And we're all trying to scramble for the best way to go about doing this. So, this is just another arm for kind of getting people to hopefully take care of their properties.
So letters will go out, tags will be issued. You said one property already. Pay to find one of these properties?
Yeah, not one of these, no.
No.
Another one.
Except for the
If these properties haven't been lived in, or are not being lived in, and they're in deteriorating condition, it would be my recommendation. Now, I can't account for the financial implications of tearing down properties. But if they're not being maintained, if they're falling apart, let's demolish them. Let's tear them down. Those lots can be used, by the property owners for other means, but it doesn't make sense to have all these homes just sitting abandoned.
So our ordinance says a year, if they haven't been lived in a year. Is that what we're going for? The services, if they haven't had
The
utility
current ordinance
services?
is 1 year.
Mhm.
I think it's more of, let's look at the condition of the house. That's really what matters. You know, if we have someone who's got a property, who may not be living in it, but they're taking care of it, they're paying their bills,
It
it
looks
looks
lived in.
nice, their neighbors aren't being, you know, upset because their property looks like something you see in a ghost town. Like, that's a situation where I feel like we need to look at the condition of the property, not so much whether it's being lived in. Because that's ultimately really what matters, is the condition of the property.
And, man, I know you introduced the four that you got here. One, I gotta tell you, probably I get more complaints on anything else, is their Stardust or Stardust Way, the junk trailer, whatever it is, at the bone pile, sitting right there. Waiting for us. I know we've had issues with kids run that thing before. I know they boarded it up and stuff, but it's still sitting there. And that's probably one of the biggest eyesores that it keeps getting brought to our attention for us to do something about it, and until we enter into this discussion. So
Where's that?
They're at your maintenance barn, the one sits, that trailer that sits right up in front of the road. It's just been there the 3 years I've been here. Everybody, that's what all
It's about to get moved.
okay, well, that's what everybody complains about, so if you're gonna move.
It's about to get moved.
Okay.
So, with those properties, I would suggest that if, based on, I'm sure Wayne can give you, do you have a recommendation on those four properties? You think they need to be demolished in their condition?
Well, anything can be fixed. It depends on how much money they wanna put in it. I think the one on Lafayette is a total loss.
Okay.
The other ones, because you could see in it. The other ones, I haven't really, seen inside them. I'm not saying they couldn't be fixed up, but whether or not it's cost effective.
Any property can be repaired.
Absolutely, whether it's cost
How
effective,
much is
that's up to the owner.
somebody willing to put into it to bring it up to?
Absolutely.
So what I would I would recommend go ahead and issuing the orders for demolition on those four properties. that will at least get the ball rolling. The property owners will be able to come and say, okay, here's what we have. These properties aren't as bad as you think they are. They can provide us with proof of that, show us maybe what steps they can take to improve those properties. So it might be better to go ahead and just issue the demolition order and then put the burden on the property owner to improve this property.
The demolition order and the red tag, all kind of.
Yeah, in addition to the.
Both sides of it
Yeah.
to try to get the ball rolling.
Yes. So, that'd be my recommendation. If, you give me approval, I'll get the, letters issued.
I give you the approval.
Okay. So we will get those issued, those will be sent out certified mail. Once I get responses from the property owners, then we can figure out what steps we need to take then. They'll have 60 days from receipt of the letter to comply with the demolition order. If they choose not to, if they choose to present evidence that maybe the property is not as bad a shape as what we believe it to be, then that, they'll have the opportunity to address that with us. So this will at least get the ball rolling. Again, this is an issue that we're seeing across the state. Everyone's dealing with the same issues. The good thing is we have a team here who's proactively taking steps to make sure that people's properties aren't affecting other people who actually do maintain the properties. You know, it's not fair to those people. So I'll get them issued. Thank you.
Question, what about 3 and 5 on the North Main on the list?
They actually came and got their permits and stuff, so they're taking
Oh,
off.
that's the demo permits.
Yeah.
As of the time of this agenda, they did not have anything.
I just got them today.
Which that's a great success.
Yes,
That's awesome.
We're, most progress we've made and.
Yes.
How's the bills already moving after they?
So we got the Vale's owners, requested judicial review of what the town had done. They petitioned the court, paid all the fees. The judge dismissed it because they didn't have any real leg to stand on. They'd been given a year to do something with the property they'd been working. Judge issued the order dismissing their case. And so now we have Ray's coming out in the next, hopefully as soon as possible, to get that torn down. It is well overdue. So that is going to be a significant victory. What's that?
Any idea how much is still left in the house?
Whatever was there when her father died.
Probably.
So I have no idea. I know
They were there
Ray's is
last-
gonna have a,
They were there last week, her and her brother, and I know they were carrying stuff out of the house, I saw that.
so. We'd love to encourage them, take out what you want, but you guys have had sufficient amount
Seemed
of
like
time.
they waited too late or something too, didn't they? They had plenty of time.
They would always tell us that they would be we're doing this, we're contracting with this person. At one point, the hospital had offered to purchase the property, and they came in and told us that, and then ended up backing out of the deal. So it was just, they kind of kept kicking the can down the road. At some point, enough's enough, we've got to proceed, so.
Is that demo date weather pending?
I would imagine,
Okay.
so, yeah. I have nothing further.
Mr.
Sorry to keep you
President,
so late.
Yes, sir.
I have been very patient, waiting on this meeting. I own 4 pieces or 4 lots in Stardust Hills. In the last 2 years, I have put a new roof on my house. I have improved the lawn considerably at my expense. Brand new lawn. At this present time, I am spending considerable amount of money for new appliances, new flooring, laminated flooring, and new walls throughout my home, which I've owned for 32 years down there. When I moved in there, the condition of the street that I live on was not the way it is now. It was not. Now I'm doing everything I can. I even eliminated an old storage shed that wasn't being used and cleaned up the south side of my property to where it looks respectable. I drafted a letter and sent it to the HOA they should be getting it. But I've also addressed this town about lot number 108, which is my neighbor, which I'm sitting beside right now. He's my neighbor because he bought that lot, tore the trailer out, and he left the garage and he left a pair of steps. And he has refused to clean up the lots. When I look out the south door of my home, all I see is blighted lots. Several blighted lots down there. There's even a trailer that is set there on a lot for years that's uninhabitable. It's sitting there. There's trees that fell over. There's limbs. Blue Sideway is one of the worst looking streets in Stardust Hills when you come down. There's a refrigerator sitting in the driveway.
Who owns that lot?
Number 137, I spoke to the marshal about it. There's an abandoned car there. Like I say, Blue Sideway looks terrible. Yet I'm spending all this money on my home as a single owner to improve it and everything so I can live in it and bring it up to where it looks respectable. But nobody, the HOA, nor this town, wants to do anything about the owner of the 5 or 6 lots south of me. They're unkept, they're unmowed, there's trash on the lots, there's limbs on the lots, there's trees falling over, etc., etc.
And who owns those lots?
I'm sitting beside him. The same one that owns that doggone fence up there that's a safety hazard.
So he owns all around you.
Yes, he does. Yes, he most certainly does. And I'm tired of it. If I can be on a fixed income and fix up my property and make it look respectable and everything, then most certainly he can too.
I would just say, that's one thing we're doing is, the marshal is working on getting those ordinance citations out there. That will help, for sure.
As you all know, that's been a process to get it up where we codified the ordinances. We got a court that will take the citations. We tested them out on a lot of the dog cases up front, and it's been very successful in that sense. So now it's a matter of going out and we're organizing the way we're going to do it, because the way we go out, we take a photograph of what the issue is, we red tag it with the photograph, the red tag on it. So some of the property owners, after you red tag them, they take it off like, hey, it never happened.
And they have so much time after.
And they have so much time, and actually what we've done in the past is we put it out there for courtesy, saying, hey, please, voluntary compliance, help us out here. Now we're gonna do that, I think it's 10 days, and then it's gonna be followed up with actual ordinance citations that range everything from $250 up to $2,500.
Yeah, they can be pretty expensive, so.
And that ends up being recurring, so like, starts out $250, 10 days later, and then it works its way.
It's
graduated.
So, yeah, for
And all that was
continued
published,
non-compliance.
all that was published in the paper, and so we've met all the legal requirements that we've had to get that in place so we can move forward.
Sounds like the powers to be are aware.
I don't have anything further, me personally.
Call this meeting adjourned.
Thank you.